परदारा परदारावरोधस्य अवरोधस्य परदारावरोधस्य प्रसुप्तस्य निरीक्षणम् इदं खलु ममात्यर्थं धर्मलोपं करिष्यति। परदारावरोधस्य प्रसुप्तस्य निरीक्षणम् idam khalu. All Mahapranas, be careful, make sure you pronounce it correctly. Khalu mamatyartham artham tha Mahaprana dharmalopam karishyati. Paradharavarodhasya प्रसुप्तस्य निरीक्षणम् इदं खलु ममात्यर्थम् धर्मलोपं करिष्यति। We will learn two padams together. Okay, repeat it loud, clearly two times. Okay. Paradharavarodhasya prasuptasya nirekshanam. Idam khalu mamatyartham dharmalopam karishyati. Okay, so we will listen to the meaning and the moral. Guru Garu. Go ahead, sir.
Here, now Hanuman is searching in the bedrooms of the king of Lanka, that is Ravana. You know how many wives Ravana was having? 7,000 wives. 7,000 ladies were there in the house of Ravana. And all are in deep sleep. Some are on the floor, some are on the beds, everywhere. Their dress is not proper. They never expected some other person will be entering their bedrooms. Now actually, when he is going, because he has to search for Sita, where he should search? Sita Devi is a lady. A lady has to be searched only among the ladies only. So he started searching in the Antahpura of Ravanasura. Then actually he got a thought, what is that I am doing? Am I doing adharma or not? Because what I am doing, I am seeing the ladies who are actually in the Antahpura of my Shatru. Is it proper for me? I am a bachelor. Bachelors are not supposed to see other ladies normally, particularly when their garments are in not proper order. And that too in their own bedrooms. It's not possible, it's not allowed. But whereas now I am doing it, am I violating the dharmas which I am supposed to follow? That is this actually, this shloka, what it indicates, you know, whenever you are doing a thing, your introspection should be there. Am I doing a right thing? Am I doing a wrong thing? Am I doing a dharma karya or am I doing an adharma karya? Then again he comes out, yes, what I am doing is dharma only. My mind is not disturbed. My mind is not violating my own principles. After all, where I should sit? I should sit among the ladies only. I cannot sit among the animals to find out Sita Devi. So like that, actually, here what he says, Paradharavarodhasya, that is Prasuptasya. Prasupta means deep sleep. Seeing that type of ladies who are in the harem, that is Antahpura, And then who are in deep sleep, Nirikshanam, that is detailed way he is seeing. Idam khalu mamatyardham dharmalopam karishyati. Whether this is going to make any difference in my dharma, implementation of dharma, myself. So that type of introspection is required for everybody whenever we are doing any kind of activity. Suppose when you are writing an exam, you got some questions may be easy, some questions may be tough. Immediately what you will have the, normally most of the people will have the temptation is, if somebody, my own friend, just sitting aside in the other table, he gives a small clue. Yes, I can write down full answer. Because I am not immediately getting that clue to start the answer. Then shall we look at the other friends or not? We will be doing it. Normally that is a trend, that is human weakness. No, you are not supposed to do. That type of things also you are not supposed to do. Even if your own friend is opening the new answer paper and asking you to copy, no, I should not. That way, our introspection should always prevail. Our dharma alone will protect us, not just copying. So not only in the just examination hall, in your life also, in your jobs also, on your walking on the roads also, everywhere, dharma alone will protect. We should never violate the dharma allotted to us. Dharmas are of different kinds. The dharma sutras, the principles allotted to individuals, they will be varying from person to person. We should never violate. That is the meaning of this great shloka. We should always abide by the dharma. Okay? Always we should have the introspection, whether I am doing this right thing or wrong thing. That is a summary of this shloka. Thank you, sir.
So we'll chant the whole shloka. Okay, repeat it twice. Paradharavarodhasya prasuptasya niriksham idam khalu matyartham dharmalopam karishyati.
Paradharavarodhasya prasuptasya nirikṣhanam idam khalu mamatyartham dharmalopam karishyati. Paradharavarodhasya prasuptasya nirikṣhanam idam khalu mamatyartham dharmalopam karishyati.
Good. Okay. So even if nobody is seeing also, we should always be doing our dharma. We have to always be introspecting ourselves. Okay, so we will go to the next one. Next shloka. Have clarity of thought with respect to the decision making. Tasya abhutchinta. Tasya pradurabhutchinta abhutchinta punaranya manasvinah nischita ekanta chittasya karya nischaya darshini. Tasya pradurabhutchinta punaranya manasvinah nischitaikanta chittasya karya nischaya darshini. Go one padam at a time, okay? Tasya pradurabhutchinta.
Tasya pradurabhutchinta
Punaranya manasvinah nischitaikanta chittasya karya nischaya
darshini.
Tasya pradurabhutchinta punaranya manasvinah
तस्य प्रादुरभूच्चिन्ता पुनरन्या मनस्विनः तस्य प्रादुरभूच्चिन्ता पुनरन्या मनस्विनः
निश्चितैकान्तचित्तस्य कार्यनिश्चयदर्शिनी
निश्चितैकान्तचित्तस्य कार्यनिश्चयदर्शिनी निश्चितैकान्तचित्तस्य कार्यनिश्चयदर्शिनी
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Now you see, in the previous shloka, he got a doubt whether himself is violating the dharma. Who has to clarify? Normally, if he is among the in the company of learned people, he may ask, "Sir, can I do this kind of thing? Or can I not? Shall I do it? Or shall I not do it?" But here, nobody else is there to guide him. He himself has to decide. So he has to take his own decision. But the decision must be perfect. So he got another idea. He got another thing. Yes. What is that? What are the conditions? What is the context in which now I am searching? I am searching for Sita Devi, who is very pure. For whom I am doing it? For a purest person, Sri Ramchandra, I am doing it. Why I have come here? Only to search for Sita Devi. And what will happen? That will be for the good of the whole world. So now I have to do it. Is my mind disturbed? No, not at all. So here actually he got mental strength, the terrible mental strength he got, Hanuman. Terrible mental strength. That what actually? Nishchita, ekanta chittasya, highly concentrated mental power is there. Now he thought for a few seconds. Yes, immediately he got an idea. Karya nishchaya darshini. Very clear idea he got it. I am not doing anything. How actually he got this kind of good idea? Because his mind is already pure. Manasvi. Manasvi means a person who has always got the good thoughts. Because previously his mind was well trained by him to have only good thoughts. And now because he is engaged in a good activity, now he got a good decision also. One thought he got which is always good for the rest of the world. So now he got that. What is that idea? Yes, let us proceed. No, you are not doing anything. Is my mind disturbed at all by these ladies? No. Am I having an allurement? No. So immediately, yes, I can go ahead. So that is Karya Nishchaya Darshini. That is ultimately you have to take some decisions by yourself. No father will not be there by your side. Mother will not be there by your side. Brothers will not be there. Your gurus will not be there. Even your education also will not be able to do it. You yourself have to take a decision. That is called a decision making. Then by that time, your mind should be very clear. What is my objective? What is my mission? I should fulfill it. Yeah, at that moment of time, whatever you are doing, is it right or not? You yourself decide it. That makes everything perfect. This actually when we have clarity of thought with respect to decision making. This is indicated by this shloka. Very important. Ultimately, when you're in your life, you may become very senior officer, a military officer you may become. Enemy will be just before you. You will not have much time. Yes, immediately take a bold decision, which is always guided by dharma. Always you will be successful. Before that, you must have trained your mind in a very good condition. Then only you will be getting good thoughts. That actually both your previous condition, that is indicated by Manasvi, and now you have full concentration. That is essential to get a right decision at this moment. That is past, present, and future. Here, Manasvi means previous status. Present one, full concentration. And Nishchaya Darshini is for the future. So three tenses are indicated in single shloka. Past, present, and future. Past is essential to take a decision now for the future. This is very important in the life of everybody. Okay? Thank you, sir.
Okay, so we'll learn the whole shloka. Repeat it loud twice. Okay? Tasya pradurabhochinta punaranya manasvinaha nischitaikanta chittasya karya nischaya darshini.
तस्य प्रादुरभूच्चिन्ता पुनरन्यामनस्विनः निश्चितैकान्तचित्तस्य कार्यनिश्चयदर्शिनी तस्य प्रादुरभूच्चिन्ता पुनरन्यामनस्विनः निश्चितैकान्तचित्तस्य कार्यनिश्चयदर्शिनी.
Very good. Okay, we will go to the Dhyanyu. We will learn some new shloka today, right? Okay, we will learn a new Dhyana shloka.
Yes, sir.
Hagriva Dhyana shloka. Jnananandamayam Devam Nirmala Sphatikakritim Adharam Sarva Vidyanam Hayagrivam Upasmahe.
Here, slight typic adjustments are required, sir. Subsequently, we will
Yes,
have
sir.
Sarva Vidya.
Okay. Sorry, sir.
So, you please, shall I tell or you tell, sir?
Yeah, you can tell, sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah. You see, children, for among the gods, normally, for education, for learning, we pray Saraswati. Sometimes we may pray Lord Ganesha also. There is one more god called as Hayagriva. Lord Vishnu has not only 10 avatars, he got several avatars. One of the avatars is Hayagriva avatar. Then in that condition, actually, his head will be just like that of a horse. Haya means that is horse. Horse-faced avatar of Lord Vishnu. He is also embodiment of, he is a god of learning. Now this shloka is meant in prayer for him. Please recite. Jnananandamayam Devam
Jnananandamayam Devam
Nirmalaspatikakrutim
Nirmalaspatikakritim
Adharam Sarva Vidyanam
Adharam Sarva Vidyanam
Hayagriva
Hayagrivam
One more.
Hayagrivam
Yes, sir. Actually, once more we will do it. Jnananandamayam Devam
Jnananandamayam Devam
Nirmalaspatikakrutim
Nirmalaspatikakritim
Adharam Sarva Vidyanam
Adharam Sarva Vidyanam
Hayagriva
Hayagrivam
The brief meaning of this is embodiment of knowledge and happiness. Jnana and Ananda, he is a Maya. Maya means full of knowledge and full of happiness. Now, and what type of personality? Nirmala Sphatika, just like a crystal clear, what normally the word you use, crystal clear. Sphatika is crystal. Nirmala means the very clear. Nirmala, that is very clear. Such interesting personality. Then, and he is the embodiment of our education. Sarva Vidyanam Adharam. That is, because he is the source of all knowledge. That type of Hayagriva, I will make my prayers so that he will bless me. This is important shloka. Please get it by heart for next week. Thank you, sir.
Okay. We'll go to the next one, sir. You want me to do?
Yeah. Now this week we will have another great mathematician come scientist of ancient times. His name is Varahamihira. What is his name? Varahamihira. One of the greatest mathematicians of India. Of what period? About 1500 years back. Here actually see when he was born. He is also called as He has actually, his original name was Mihira. And some people actually, they have given him a title called as Varaha. Varaha is a title. Varaha means normally a wild pig. Wild pig. That actually is called, but that is given as a title to him. And he was born in the year 505. That is from here on, from today onwards, about 1500 years back. And then he lived for about 82 years. He had actually expired in 587, 505 to 587. And you know when he was, where he was born and when he was born, the time we have given, that was Gupta's period, some people say. And the place where he was born was Ujjaini. Ujjaini was the capital of India for several centuries. Just like Patna. Patna was just like as on today, Delhi, you know. Delhi has become capital not from the beginning. Even in the British rule also, for a long time, Calcutta was the capital. In 1912, the capital was shifted from Calcutta to Delhi. Similarly, normally, depending on the king's powers and their interest, the capital will be shifted. Ujjaini was the kingdom, and it was the capital for the kingdom of Vikramaditya, great emperor. Or normally Bhatti Vikramarka stories will be hearing. They may be myths, but Vikramarka was a real person who lived on this land. And during that period, actually, this great Varahamihira was alive. And his father's name was Aditya Dasa. And he has Bhadra Bahu was his brother. And then, you know, where he got his education, it is called as Kapithaka. It is nearer Ujjain. Entire life he spent almost there, but you know, he created wonder of the wonders. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah. You see, in Jyotish Shastra, there are three divisions are there, three departments are there, or three parts are there, or three branches are there. One branch is called as the Siddhanta Bhaga. Second part is called as the Jataka Bhaga, and the third part is called as the Samhita Bhaga. All the three things he has mastered at the age of 20. By the age of 20, he mastered all the three branches. Normally, for a scientist of Einstein stature, it may take 50 or 60 years. But this person, Varahamihira, has mastered all the three subjects within 20 years' time. And he has written several books of his own. And each category, suppose Siddhanta Bhaga is there. He has written one great book called as Pancha Siddhantika. Great astronomers were living in India from several thousands and thousands of years. They themselves have written several books. But those books are not available today. What Varahamihira has done is, he has collected those books, whichever are traceable, important 5 books he collected. Then he has prepared the summary of each book. Those 5 summaries he has brought into one single book called as Pancha Siddhantika. This belongs to astronomy part. Siddhanta Bhaga means astronomy. That is the calculation of the speed of the stars' movements, or the planets, or the eclipses, Suryodaya, Suryasmaya, all these things, calculations, wherever are involved, that is called as the Siddhanta Bhaga. Second one is the Jataka Bhaga. How is going to my future? Am I going to pass in my exam nearly middle or not? Or am I going to get good rank or not? How is going to my future life? How is my position? What type of offers I will be getting? That is having a personal request with respect to their own lives. That subject is called as Jataka Bhaga or Jataka Skandha. This is otherwise called as astrology. All these 2 things, they deal with the planets. Also, they deal with the stars, asterisms, and constellations. But there is another subject is there, Samhita Bhaga. There, that also deals with the prediction of the future. But we don't mention about the grahas. We don't mention about the nakshatras. But still the future can be predicted. That type of subjects, they are covered under the Samhitas. He has mastered that also. And he has written one book called as Brahat Samhita, which has 107 chapters. That is, he has mastered 107. Normally, whenever those people are writing books means only when they master the subject, then only they were writing the books. He has written a book with 107 chapters means he got thorough knowledge on 107 subjects. You please understand what type of genius he is. And other books also. Additionally, he has written some more books. Yatra Grantha. When I should go on pilgrimage? What is a good time? What is Bruhat? Then I should go for marriage. Normally, unfortunately, sometimes we will be seeing in the news when people are going for a marriage, they are crushed under some laria somewhere. Some accidents are occurring. Why they are occurring? Because the muhurta when they started, that's not good. Who will tell? We do not know. Whereas that type of things also Varahamihira has written. Then he has written some more Sama Samhita, Jatakarnamam, Panchapakshi, like that he has written several books. And here small story about Varahamihira, I will tell you. Yes, these are the books. They are in there. Yes, sir. One small story. How he got that title Varaha. He was working in the court of a king. The king's wife was pregnant. So, because he was the emperor, he called all his Jyotishkas. These people are just waiting. Once the delivery is over, the time is immediately given. And one among the great astronomers and astrologers working in that the king's emperor's darbar was Mihira. Then these people, they immediately prepared horoscopes. They have to tell the king, sir, the child just now born, the infant just now born, he will be like this. He will live for so many years. He will be so valorous. Like that, they have to suppose to tell after examining the horoscope. That baby was born, the time was noted, the time was given to all the great scholars like Varaha Mihira. He was Mihira only by that time, not Varaha. All our Pandits were telling something, whereas he was keeping silence. The king got a doubt. Sir, is there any defect in the Jataka of this baby just now born? He was requesting, kindly excuse me, sir. Please don't allow me to speak. Normally people ask to allow to speak. Whereas he is asking, please don't allow me to speak. No, you should say whether it is good thing or bad thing. I am ready to receive it. I am ready to receive it. He prayed actually because he was immediately found something wrong in the Jataka of that boy just now born. He was not interested to tell to the king, but the king was insisting. Then immediately he said, sir, the boy will live only for 6 years and he will die because of a pig. He will die because of a pig, he will die at the age of 6 or that, around that age. Can you tell me the date on which he will die? Yes, sir, definitely. He has given the date with the Tithi, Nakshatra, and the Masa, and the Samvatsara also when the boy is going to die, expire. And the time, can you tell me? Yes, sir, so definitely I can. He has given the time, morning about 9:35 or so. He has given. Because he is a king. Normally, the pigs only, they will be moving in the streets. How can you expect a pig coming into the palace of a great king, emperor? So the king thought, this Mihira is a fool. He cannot be right. But let me give a chance to him. Let me verify whether what he is telling is correct or not. So what he did, okay, Panditji, please be available to me on that day. You should sit along with me that day when you are mentioning. And I will not reveal this secret to anybody. Only you, yourself and myself only will be knowing it. But I will be taking all my precautions to protect the child. That day came. The king was very conscious because that is going to be a D-day for the child as per this Mihira. So the king has ordered, no pig should enter, no animal should enter into my building. Yes, all the protections, security people, they made all the arrangements. No pig, no dog, no horse, nothing will enter. So what he did is, he got a very great museum. In the museum, normally, all the playthings, the toys required for the children, they are kept there. So he kept the boy in that museum hall. He got it locked outside. so that no pig should enter inside. Pigs cannot enter the palace. How it can enter the museum within the palace? It cannot. So he made all his proof. So foolproof arrangements he made it. Just he was waiting for the time mentioned by Mihira. Exactly 9:35. Suppose assume that it was 9:35 he has mentioned. 9:40. Sir, Mihiraji, shall we see what happened? Yes, sir, you can verify. They opened. The boy was dead. The boy was found dead. Then next question is, he must have been killed by a pig. What happened, you know? It was a museum. Normally, the kings, when they go for hunting, they bring the heads of the animals which they have killed. Suppose one king kills a tiger, let us say. He chops off the head and brings it and puts in the museum somewhere hanging on the walls. Suppose he kills an elephant. Yes, he gets the head of the elephant cut off. To show his might, they hang it somewhere on the other wall. Yes, suppose he kills a lion, the head of the lions also they cut. Normally, this is a practice in the good olden days in the empires. Like that, in that hall, the head of a pig, wild pig in the forest, Adavi Pandi, what we call it, which is having the tusks, that is a long teeth, just like our elephant. The tusk is nothing but dantam. Pudupati dantalu, sharp ga untai, very sharp. That type of a pig was killed by one of his ancestors. Its head also was cut off and it was also hanging somewhere on the wall. What happened? You know, the boy was playing with the ball. At one point, exactly at that point, 9:30, when he hit the ball on the ground, it jumped up and it fell in the between the tusks of the pig which is hanging on the wall. గోడ మీద ఉన్న అడవి పంది కోరల మధ్యలో చిక్కుకుంది ఈ బంతి. ఈ కుర్రాడికి కావాలి, బంతి కావాలి. So what did he do now? He got one small stick and then from down he pushed the ball. But actually the stick did not push the ball, it pushed the entire head of that pig itself. The pig fell, the head of the pig exactly fell on the body of this boy. What happened? The pig is having a tusk, very sharp tusks. That is dantalu. Adivi pen the dantalu korradi body lo guchukupoyayi. When the king opened the door, the boy was found dead, and on him he got the tusks of the boar. Normally we call it the boar. That is wild pig. They were just hitting him. That actually is the reason he was given a title called as Varaha. That is, who can predict so precisely, so accurately, using his Jyotish Shastra. Under what context the boy may be killed. Because he mentioned about Varaha, he got the title as Varaha. This is one story normally, which we come across, Varaha Mihira. So that's from that time onwards, he is called as Varaha Mihira. Greatest mathematician. Several books. Greatest, one of the greatest astronomers, which is still relevant. Only one small sentence I will say. Here in his one great book called as Brahat Samhita, 32nd chapter is called as, he has written exclusively one chapter on one topic that is called how to predict the earthquakes in advance. Normally, modern science, every day we are having the bombs prepared, several varieties of bombs, up to nanosecond they are able to calculate, but nobody is able to perfectly calculate when the earthquake is going to occur. Even today also. Whereas he got that subject also studied, and he has written exclusively one chapter on that predictability of earthquakes, that is called as Bhukampa Lakshana Adhyaya. Very important task. What I wish is, why I am mentioning is, among you should study that chapter. When you become elders, you should research on that. You should be able to predict the occurrence of the earthquakes in advance. As on today, billions of dollars were spent by several countries for predicting the earthquakes, but nobody is successful perfectly. I wish, and we wish, you should become one of the greatest astronomers, who is greatest mathematician, just like Varaha Mihira. Blessings to you all. Thank you, sir. Actually, the birth details आदित्यदासतनयः तदवाप्तबोधः कापित्थके सवितृलब्धवरप्रसादः आवन्तिको मुनिमतान्यवलोक सम्यक् होरां वराहमिहिरो रुचिरां चकार. That is, here he is mentioning Aditya Dasa Tanayah. I am the son of a person by name Aditya Dasa. That is his father's name he has mentioned. Tadavapta Bodha. And I studied from my father. Normally, father himself is the teacher for him. And where they are actually, what is their native place? Kapithake. Kapithaka is Kapitha. Deity is Kapithaka. That is the name of the city. In that city, nearer to Ujjain, we stay there. Whenever the emperor invites that, they will be coming to Ujjain. Otherwise, they will stay. Just like in Hyderabad, we have Maulali, or Dr. A.S. Rao Nagar, or L.B. Nagar. They are surrounding suburbs of Hyderabad. Like that, a part nearer to Ujjaini, but not exactly within Ujjaini. That is called Kapithaka. And but actually, what is Avantika? Avantika means Avanti means Ujjaini. Avantika means the region related to Ujjaini. That is Ujjaini Empire. I am Munimatanyavalo. He has written, yes, I have written one great book called as Horam. Hora book I have written. That is Jataka Skandha book I have written. How is it that you yourself can write it? Yes. After studying all the great books written by earlier great people, earlier great sages have written. 18 great mathematicians were there in India. They are called as Ashtadesha, Jyotish Shastra, Pravartakas. 18 people. He is one, not even this Varahamihira is not one of them. They are prehistoric persons. Prehistoric. Whereas Varahamihira is a historic person whose date of birth can be identified approximately, whose date of expiry also can be estimated approximately. But whereas 18 great mathematicians were known, they have written great books on astronomy and mathematics, but their date cannot be fixed. Some of the books are available today. Those books actually, he says, I have studied all those books. Muni Mata Anyavalokya. After going through all those great books of the great sages, yes, now I am writing this. Excellent contribution, sir. This is the one. Next one, sir. Only one more sloka was there. And he says, you should learn even from foreign countries also. Next one more sloka is there, sir. Yeah, here you see, this is very important. Normally, people, most of you, let us say, who are staying in America, that normally previous terms that called as Malaysia Desha. Whereas Sanskrita Desha means Bharat Desha. Are we allowed to go to America? Are we going to go to some other foreign countries? In previous centuries, there was some restriction. No, you should not go to foreign countries. Whereas Varahamihira, in 5th century, he is saying, no, there are great people even in the Westerners also. Outside India, great people are there. They are almost just like our sages. You should learn from them. Suppose Einstein is there, Schrodinger is there. Several great scientists are there now throughout the world who are Nobel laureates. That's what actually says. Milechahi avanasteshu samyak shastramidam sthitam rushivattepi pujyanti kim punardaiva vidvijaha. Milechahi avanaha. Yavana means that people who are staying in the Yavana countries, Turkey, Greek, all those countries, they are treated as Yavana Deshas. Beyond India borders, there are Mlechas. They are not following Vedas. But this subject of astronomy is very well established. Shastra, idam shastram samyak sthitam. It is very well established with them. They are almost, because they learned this Jyotish Shastra, they are also to be respected as just like our Rishivat. They are to be treated as sages. If the foreigners who are not following Vedic Dharma, if they themselves are to be treated as sages, then what about our great Pandits? They must be highly, much more highly, they must be respected who are born in India. So there is nothing wrong in your going to our foreign countries and getting the subject. But at the same time, you should remember our Dharma is our pillar. You should never discard it. And come back to India whenever chance occurs. Okay, Kim Punar Daiva Vidvijaha, a person staying in India, but he knows the subject of astrology, astronomy, and other Brahma Samhitas. Then what to say about them? They are much more greater sages than these Westerner people. That's what actually he has mentioned. This is a shloka written by Varahamihira about 1500 back. 1500 is back. So there is nothing wrong in going to foreign countries, but learning, but at the same time maintaining our own dharma. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Now let us go to next.
So these are the books.
Today's story is from the fifth part of Panchatantra. It is Kakaulukiyam. The story is also known as Kakaulukiyam. There is only one story in this particular chapter. So Kakaulukiyam means that the Kaka means a crow, and Uluka is the owl, is an owl. The story is about a fight between two groups of crows and owls. They both are enemies, so they fought with each other, and they have adopted certain rules and strategies in the war held between them. So that we are going to learn from this story. So who won the battle and who lost it? That is the story. And then how they won the battle. So the story is, there was a huge banyan tree. You know, banyan tree means a marri chettu we call in Telugu. This is marri chettu. It's very huge. So that tree, there was a tree situated at the outskirts of a village. That particular tree was the home to a large number of crows. So there were so many crows. So they have made that particular tree as their home. So they had a king whose name was Meghavarna. So in Panchatantra, usually all the birds and animals, they carry the names of human beings. So the characters are like that. So in this particular case also, in this story also, so we can see the names. Just like this Meghavarna is related to the color. That's Varna means color, how it is. So the king's name was Meghavarna. And at the same time, so there was a cave just nearby that particular banyan tree. So in that cave, there were a large number of owls, the birds. So they were also staying, yes, they are also living. So their king was Arimardhana. So this is also another name. Usually we find in our in people, just people carry this sort of names also, Arimardhana. So his name was Arimardhana. So these owls and crows, so they are not friendly. There is no friendship as such. The owls, they regard these crows as their enemy. So what they used to do, during night, this visibility of the owls is very clear. They can see in the night, in the darkness. Whereas crows, they cannot see. So these owls, they fly around the banyan tree, and then they catch hold of the crows and they used to kill them because they treat them as their enemies. So it is going on for some time. So once the king of these crows, Meghavarna, so he thought, so many of our followers, these crows, they are being killed by these owls. So how to protect them? How there should be some solution for this. So how to fight with the owls? And then he thought, yes, he had some ministers. Ministers means they usually give advice to the king what to do and what not to do and how to do all those things. So he called his ministers. He had 5 ministers. So they are also having, their names are also like this: Ujivi, Sanjeevi, Anujeevi, Rajivi, and Chiranjeevi. So they are all in the last now, they are also Jeevi. They are all 5 ministers. So he called them and asked those 5. So what should we do? See, in these circumstances, because we are at loss, our people are just our birds are just our crows, our friends are being killed by these owls. So we have to stop it. How to do it? So they all the 5 ministers, they said they have given the advice, because these sort of advices usually we find during war times. How to make friendship with the enemy, or just how to fight with the enemy, how to spy the enemies, and all these things. So Ujivi suggested, the first minister, he said, so I advise you to make peace. He said, so we have to make peace because the enemy is very strong. They also are very strong. They are stronger than these crows. So we have to make peace. The first one, Ujivi said. And then the second one, Sanjeevi said, O king, the enemy is not only strong but also cruel and follows no ethics of war. Because the second one said, so he is strong, but he is not following any ethics. There are morals, there are no morals. They are just unnecessary, they are killing us by cheating us, by deceiving us. They are not following the rules of the war. So the second one is as said like that. So we have to make peace, and the peace cannot be made with them. So we have to fight at any cost. And then the Anujeevi said, the third one, the enemy is stronger than us, so it will not be wise to fight them. They are cruel and do not have ethics, so we cannot make peace with them. I suggest we retreat to a safer place. So the same thing. The enemy is very strong, we cannot fight with him, so we have to retreat. Retreat means just we have to leave this place and go somewhere to protect ourselves from the enemy. That is the thing. And then the Prajivi said, the fourth one, he said, I advise entrenchment, and we will be safe only in our own home. If we reject our post, we will never be able to return. Because at present they are residing at on that banyan tree. But so they have to be there only. Suppose they leave it, so they cannot find any other home. That is the thing. So we should be at home only. We should be protected ourselves. We should protect ourselves in our home only. So we cannot go out. That is the thing. So he said. And then Chiranjeevi said, the last one, the fifth minister said, let us seek the advice of allies and defeat the enemy with their assistance. So the third one, fifth one said, so they have friends, other birds. So we will, the ally means the friends. So we will fight with the enemy together, collectively, with the help of our friends, so that we can win with their assistance. That is the thing. But the Meghavarna, he was not satisfied with the advice of all these 5. He has another minister, another old minister, so who is very wise, say a learned person, learned crow. So he was also the minister for his father, Meghavarna's father. So he asked that the crow, his name was Stirajeevi. The minister's name was Stirajeevi. So he asked Stirajeevi, so I somehow I have not liked the advice of the other 5. You suggest me, so what to do in these circumstances? You give me a better advice. Then Stirajeevi said, okay, so my plan is this, my advice is like this. Your Majesty, for an enemy who is much stronger than us, we should have a path of intrigue intrigue means just some sort of thing. We have to do something interesting. So, which attracts the enemy's attention. Which attracts the enemy's attention. So that sort of thing we have to do. What is that? So he explained that plan. So the Meghavarna asked, what is that plan? So he said, Meghavarna said, Lakshmi, Meghavarna said, the plan is, the Stirajivi said, the plan is like this. I pretend to be a traitor. So we have to spy, we have to send our spies to the enemy's place to find out the weak points. That is the first thing. At the same time, the enemies also, they are also having spies. So they will also spy on us. So we have to keep these things, these two things in mind, and we have to act. So for that also, I have a plan. So I want to be, I will act as a traitor. I will pretend to be a traitor. Traitor means who deceives his own men. Just as in our country, there are so many traitors. So they help the enemy. They are not Deshabhaktas, they are not patriots. The patriots the opposite is traitor, a patriot. So like that, I pretend to be a traitor. And then Meghavarna, you punish me and you abuse me and you beat me, so that the enemy, the spies will think, okay, this fellow is a traitor. So the Meghavarna, their king he has not liked him, and that's why he is beating and he is abusing and everything. So we have to create such an impression in the enemy's mind, so that you do it. So immediately they adopted that plan. They adopted the plan, and the Meghavarna started beating this Stirajivi. Stirajivi, he was injured and he has fallen. He has fallen from the tree, and he was bleeding and smeared with blood and everything. So this was seen. The enemies, owls, spies, they have seen this, and they immediately went back to their king, Arimardhana, and explained everything. So the Stirajivi, his minister, he abused his king like anything, and he was beaten by his king, and he has fallen like that. So immediately that Arimardhana said, okay, just we will go to that place, there's a banyan tree, and we will kill all those crows and all. This is the right time. We will attack them. So then what they said, they went to the banyan tree. So Stirajivi, what he said, so after beating me, you leave this place, banyan tree, and you go to some mountain, far off mountain, Rishyamukha mountain is there. There nobody can come. So you there. I will go to that enemy's place, and I will after making all the plan, the arrangements, I will call you back. I will come to you, and we will implement our plan. That is the plan of Stirajivi. They told by Stirajivi to his master. So Meghavarna has left that place already and went to the Rishyamukha mountain. It is a safer place from this. So meanwhile, after Arimardhana and his followers, this crow and all the other owls, they came to the tree and they found nothing. Nobody was there. No crow was there. So they already left. So they were searching. So while searching, they heard the noise, the cawing. Cawing means just that he was in a grief. He was injured. This Stirajivi, he was down under the tree. So he was crying. So he heard the sound of that Stirajivi, and he just came there and noticed he has seen the Stirajivi and asked why he is there like that. So Stirajivi said, so I abused it. I didn't like my master. I scolded him. So in return, he has beaten me, and thus I was injured. I'm injured, I am falling, I have fallen from the tree and I am lying here. So I want to, if you give me shelter, so I will come with you. So then Arimadhana said, so what for you cannot come with me. Then Sirajivi said, no, if I come to you, I will, once I recover from the injuries and all, as I will show you the place where my master and others, they are staying. So that you can attack them and you can kill them. So this idea, Arimadhana liked this idea. He said, okay, we will take you to our cave, so you can stay there, and you can once you recover, you just show us the place where they are hiding. So like that, Arimadhana has taken this Stirajivi to his cave, and then he has given shelter. Stirajivi said, I will stay at the entrance of the cave because I cannot disturb you people in the inside because I don't want to create any disturbance to you people. I simply stay at the entrance only. So after Harmadhan said, okay, you can stay there. But one of the ministers.
Rani garu, ఇంకా ఎంతసేపు అయిపోయింది?
Just 5 minutes, sir.
ఇంకా 5 minutes,
5 minutes.
Lengthy.
Oh, yes, I will finish it. I will finish it. I will finish it. Yes. So when one of the ministers, Raktasha, so who was the minister, he didn't like this Harimadhana's decision. So he left his master and he left the place. And then Sirajivi, what he has done, meanwhile, he has he just on the pretext of building a nest for himself, he has gathered dry wood and dry sticks and twigs and arranged them at the entrance of the cave. So one fine day, so in the morning, in the daytime, he went to the Rishimuka mountain to his master. When he said, he told Ajay, I'm planning my plan is there. So it is the right time to attack the owls. So you come with the burning twigs to the cave. So we can burn the branches, twigs, and which I have gathered and I have kept there. So that entrance is closed with all the twigs and branches, dry one. So during daytime, no, owls cannot see. They are inside the cave only. So meanwhile, all the Arimadhana and his followers, they came with the burning sticks and twigs, and they burnt the entire the twigs and branches arranged. They collected there at the entrance, covered at the entrance. So it was burnt. All the twigs and branches were burnt, and the fire, due to the fire and smoke, all the owls in the cave, they died. That is how they were all killed. So this is the plan implemented by the Stirajivi and his followers and his master. So like this, so this is the fault of the owls is they allowed their enemy into their house. So never, the moral is never allow your enemy, never trust your enemy and allow him into your house. That is the moral. So these are the strategies adopted by the crows to defeat the owls, and that is how they have killed the owls. And this is how we can learn what to do during a crisis, during a battle time. How to defeat a stronger enemy. That is the moral of the story. This is Kakolikiyam. This is the last part of the Panchatantra. Last part means the fifth part. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, Bhaskar garu.
Yeah. Good morning and good evening, all. So today we are going to discuss a multiplication method, Antyo Reva, meaning only at endings. Only at endings. Okay. Please note when to use this one. When to use to multiply two numbers. If one number is in between 11 and 19. 11 and 19. To multiply two numbers, if one number is in between 11 and 19. Okay? Anteyo Reva. Only at 80. Use two numbers. One number is between 19. Okay? Now, 11 and 19. Right. 'Now let us see one example. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 17. Let us see this example. Could you please respond? Is my voice has any disturbance? Somebody is reporting that my voice has a disturbance. Could you please acknowledge in chat box? Am I clear? Okay. Sometimes network glitches will come. Please excuse us for that. Okay, thank you. So the given problem is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 17. The number, one number is in between 11 and 19, right? Just take that question. This is the question. I will explain the method 2 times. Remaining thing, I will give homework you have to do. Means here itself, not at home. Okay. Now come along with me and you have to respond for my questions. When you are multiplying a 6-digit number with a 2-digit number, how many digits will come in the result? We have discussed this theorem earlier. Please ping me in chat box. 6-digit number into 2-digit number. Yeah, minimum 7 digits, maximum 8 digits. That means 6 digit into 2 digits. 6 plus 2 minus 1 or 6 plus 2. That's it. 6 plus 2 minus 1, 7 digits or 6 plus 2, 8 digits. 7 or 8. Minimum definitely 7 digits will come. Seven digits will come, right? So take 7 places. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. This one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Somebody is asking to share the notepad. Take a screenshot immediately. Okay, I'm using. Yeah. Now only at endings. That means multiply the leftmost digits and put it in the leftmost position. 3 into 1. Now multiply the rightmost positions. Now multiply the digit and add its right neighbor. That means 7 into 7 plus 8. 7 into 6 plus 7. Next, 5 into 7 plus 6. 7 into 4 plus 5. And 7 into 3 plus 4. Okay, I will write it. Seven into 7 plus 8. I am decreasing the font size. Okay, 7 into 7 plus 8, and then 6 into 7 plus 7, 5 into 7 plus 6. Next, 4 into 7 plus 5. Next, 3 into 7 plus 4. Plus 4. Okay. Now minimize it. 3 into 7, 21, 21 plus 4, 25. Next, 4 into 7, 28, 28 plus 5, 33. 5 into 7, 35, 35 plus 1, 41. 6 sevens are 42, 42 plus 7, 49. And 7 sevens are 49, 49 plus 8, 57. And then 8 sevens are 56. Now just do the carry forwards. 3, drop the 6 and carry forward 5, left side. 57 will become 62. Drop 2 and carry forward 6. If you carry forward 6, 49 plus 6, 55. Drop 5 and carry carry forward 5. 41 plus 5, it will become 46. Drop 6 and carry forward 4. Then 33 plus 4 will become 37. Drop 7 and carry forward 3 left side. Then 25 plus 3, 28. Then drop 8 and carry forward 2. If you carry forward 2, 3 plus 2, it will become 5. 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, 6. Let me check the answer with calculator. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 1, 7. Yeah, 5, 8, 7, 6, 5, 2, 6. That's the right answer. Unmute me. Kartikeya Kalaga. Sir, please unmute Kartikeya Kalaga. He has some doubt. He is. Venkat Garu, Kartikeya Kalaga. Please unmute him.
సార్
Yes.
సార్ ఇందాక మీరు అది ఆన్సర్ 7 డిజిట్ వస్తుందని చెప్పారు కదా సార్, అది ఎలా తెలుస్తుంది సార్?
Good doubt. I think you missed that class.
Yes, sir.
When I discussed that, you missed that class. I am explaining for your benefit. It's okay. Write down that one. If a m digit number is multiplied with, all of you please note, if you don't know, please learn it now. It is a second chance. Multiplied by a n digit number, then the result will have one minimum m plus n minus 1 digits or maximum m plus n digits. So with the help of this theorem, we can predict how many numbers are going to come in the result. Okay, I will give few more examples for this. This is one of the very, very important theorem. You have to predict how many number of digits are going to come in the result. Before doing multiplication itself, you should predict how many digits are going to come in the result. Okay, for example, if you are multiplying 900 into 200, that means 3-digit number into, I am putting it in bracket, that will be 18, right? That means I am putting it in bracket 3-digit and 3-digit. The answer has 6 digits, right? That means in this case m plus n digits came. Some scenarios like 200 into 300. Here 6 4 zeros. That means here 3 digits are there. Here 3 digits are there. The result has 5 digits. That means 3 plus 3 minus 1. Here
ఓకే సార్.
3 plus 3.
Sir, can you explain?
Yes.
Won't you give a problem again, sir?
It's just a helping theorem for every multiplication. You said how you are going to tell how many number of digits are going to come in the result. With the help of this, before learning any multiplication, we should know this. We should know this sutra. How many digits are going to come? So definitely m plus n minus 1 places will come for sure. Okay. So here.
Sir, can you?
ఒక్కసారి గురువు గారు మళ్ళీ ఫార్ములా చూపిస్తారా ఒక్కసారి?
Sure. That is more important than anything else. I said not m digit number. Please note it carefully. M digit number. It is not m. If a m digit number is multiplied by a n digit number, then the result will have minimum m plus n minus 1 digits or maximum m plus n digits. This is the example of 900 into 200. It is equal to 1,80,000. That is the example scenario. 3-digit number multiplied with 3-digit number. 900 is 3-digit. 200 is also 3-digit. 3-digit multiplied by 3-digit. It resulted into 6-digit number. M plus n scenario. And here 200 into 300. It resulted into 60,000. That is the example of 3-digit number into 3-digit number is equal to 5-digit number. That means m plus n minus 1. Examples. These are the examples you can note for this. Okay. If you don't know this, many of the multiplication or squaring techniques you will confuse. You cannot predict how many digits are going to come in the result. First, you need to understand this one. Before any multiplication sutra or squaring sutra, you must know, you must understand this. Am I clear, Kartikeya?
గురువు గారు కొంచెం కిందకి వేసుకో, రోల్ అవుతారా కిందకి?
Yeah. Agree. Kushagri, please ping your doubt in chat box. Because so many people are asking to unmute. Please ping your doubts in chat box. I'm seeing. That much only, nothing. That much only. See. This theorem I have discussed in earlier classes, which is helpful in all the multiplication sutras. Today we discussed Antiohareva. In Antiohareva, when I am putting number of positions, how many positions will come? Kartikeya asked, how can I identify number of positions? To explain that, I have explained once again the old technique. Yeah, multiplication technique I will. Now coming to Antiohareva part, you could have noted all this. Now I am explaining Antiohareva. Just observe this color coding. This is a 6-digit number. This is a 2-digit number. Always put the minimum number of positions. 6 plus 2 minus 1. That means 7 positions will come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is 7th place. Okay, just if you observe the left endings, the leftmost digit in this number is 3 and the leftmost digit in this number is 1. You multiply these two and put it in the leftmost place. 3 into 1. That's why I applied black circles to these numbers, leftmost numbers. And for rightmost numbers, I applied a red circle. If you observe 8 and 7, see, I kept it in the rightmost place. Okay, remaining, just multiply the number and add its right neighbor. For this 7, multiply with this 7 and add the right neighbor. What is the right neighbor of this 7? 8 is the right neighbor. 7 into 7 plus 8. If you observe here, just I will highlight. If you observe here, 7 into 7 plus 8. Okay. Next, here 6 into 7 plus 7. 6 into 7 plus 7. That means multiply the 6th with 7 and add its right neighbor. Right number is 7. Okay. Next, multiply the 5 with 7 and add its right neighbor. 5 into 7 plus 6. Next, multiply the 4 with 7 and add its right neighbor. 4 into 7 plus 5. Okay. Next, multiply the 3 with 7 and add its right neighbor. 3 into 7 plus 4. If you observe, for all the middle terms, there is a addition, but for leftmost and rightmost places, there is no addition. You are multiplying the leftmost digit 3 and leftmost digit 1. 3 into 1, 3. And rightmost digits, if you observe, I highlighted these rightmost digits in red color. 8 into 7. Okay. Then start simplifying. 3 into 1, 3. 3 into 7, 21. 21 plus 4, 25. 4 into 7, 28. 28 plus 5, 33. And then 5 into 7, 35. 35 plus 6, 41. 6 into 7, 42. 42 plus 7, 49. 7 into 7, 49. 49 plus 8, 57. Then 8 sevens are 56. Now, you started simplifying. Drop the rightmost digit and carry forward the left part to left side. Drop 6 and carry forward 5 to the left number. Then 6 will be dropped and 57 plus 5, 62. Drop 2 and carry forward 6. 49 plus 6, 55. Drop 5 and carry forward 5. If you carry forward 5 to 41, 41 plus 5, 46. Drop 6 and carry forward 4. If you carry forward 4, 33 plus 4, 37. Drop 7 and carry forward 3. 25 plus 3, 28. Drop 8 and carry forward 2 to the left side. 3 plus 2, 5. Today, those who are focusing, they only can understand. Because I didn't put the middle steps. Because this is not the first class. Up to yesterday, up to the last session, I kept all the simplifying steps. Now it's your turn to put all your steps. Okay? Now our jogging sessions started. Walking sessions completed. Jogging sessions started. Now you have to catch up. Okay? Any more doubts? Guru Garu, you can take.
Okay. So today we have a new shloka, then Sundarkanda, then the brief biography of great astronomer come mathematician Varahamihira, then a Panchatantra story, then Vedic mathematics. Excellent. I think everybody is happy. Now, finally, our prayer. ओम कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यज्जत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। हरि ओम तत्सद्ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु।